Jace Tunnell here with the Mission Aransas Research Reserve at the University of Texas Marine Science Institute. Today, we're going to be talking to you about the little bitty things that we find on the beach. And so, y'all know I've talked to y'all quite a bit about these little bitty nurdles that we find, which are the basis of everything plastic. We've talked a lot about that, so I'm not going to go too much into that, other than that we do find a lot on the beaches, and we're here on North Padre Island right now by Bob Hall Pier, and for some reason there's always some here that we find. But what are some other little things that we find? Check this out. That's a little skate egg casing. It's really cool. Now, it's got these little hooks on the end of it. A skate looks like a stingray. You know, it's a flat fish with a tail. And then this has little hooks on it, and it gets caught up in sargassum, stuff like that, and is able to float around. And then a little hatchling comes out of there. A lot of the stuff I have is like, whoa, not natural. Let me talk about a couple of the natural things though. Have y'all seen one of these? These are called a ram's horn. But this is actually the shell of a squid. This goes up inside of the head. And so if you ever find one of these, that's what it's from. A lot of people don't know that. Here's another natural thing. This is an alligator gar scale. Looks like an arrowhead or something like that, right? And it's super sharp, real thick. And I'm going to show you something here that looks like a tooth, because it is. It's a little bitty tooth, and I didn't bring it. Man, I have it's a pharyngeal plate. It's like in the throat of a black drum, and this is one of the teeth that's on there, but it's a plate about that big with a bunch of these teeth on there, and then they fall out like teeth. Well, once the animal dies. Some other things we find, I've got a whole bunch of little bitty, and this is all from the last few months or so. I was just trying to collect some little things, but look at all these little things. You know what a lot of these are? They're the hair things that girls put in their hair. You know, what do you call them? Hair things. But a bunch of those bands, rubber bands, hair rubber bands or something like that. That's one of the things. The other thing is, like this one right here would be from deodorant. Deodorant ball. That's pretty common to find. Here's another deodorant ball. They look like little bitty ping ball, but they're not. They're deodorant balls. Now this one I get a question a lot, and there's two different types. Actually, I've got three different types of things here that look very similar. You see these? These are like little comb looking items. These are actually go into water filters, and they clean water. You know, I guess it's good at getting algae and bacteria out of the water system. So you find those pretty often. Now, something that we find, since we have the Nurdle Patrol project, you know, we have people post pictures what their nurdles they find, and this is to make sure that there's a couple items here we don't want them counting as nurdles. And so one of them is, if you've ever seen these are fishing beads. So these go on fishing leaders and stuff like that. They're orange, and they have a hole right in the middle. So they're real easy to tell. Now the other ones, and these are kind of hard to tell sometimes. These right here, see if you can see those. They're round. These are plastic pellets, airsoft pellets. So you know the airsoft guns that people shoot? They come in every color. So we've got green, orange, red, white. They come in all different colors. We find these all the time, and what's real bad about these is that you know, people shoot them, and they come in 20, you can buy 20,000 in a bucket. They shoot them and they don't pick them up because they're so small. So these are just being shot out into the environment and with no thought of, I guess, anything eating them or something like that. So if somebody can come up with, and maybe they already have, but if they could be made out of like cornstarch or something like that, where they would break down real quick, or they would actually be good for an animal to eat, that would be awesome. Now, another thing we find a lot of, and there's two different types of sticks here that we find. And I got both of them here. So actually there's three. So one is a straw. Some of these are straws, like this longer one, a little more flimsy. They're usually straws. But the other thing that we find is that they're from popsicle sticks. And the ones from popsicle sticks, see those couple of holes at the top? But it's only on one side. Those are from popsicle sticks. So that holds the candy on there. The other ones that we find, there are ridges on either side, and you probably can't see that, but on either side there's little ridges. And that's from a cotton swab. So those are the kind of the three things that we find. You know, they do sell like cotton swabs and suckers, things like that, that are made out of smashed up paper and stuff like that. They tend to kind of break down real quick. That's preferable. If you have to use one of those items, preferably you would use something like that. Let's see what else I got in here. Just a lot. Oh, okay. This is actually something natural. That's gray knicker bean, or they call it knicker nut, and so that's a seed. It's weird. You'll go years without finding one, and then all of a sudden they'll be littered along the shoreline. So maybe there's a storm where it rains, you know, way upstream somewhere, and then they just start flooding down. So that's I always like finding those. We got a couple of different types of seeds here. This is the hamburger bean. Can you guess why they call it a hamburger bean? Looks like a hamburger. Which reminds me, it's about lunchtime. I'm getting hungry. This is a sea bean. It's a sea purse. And it kind of looks like a purse with a zipper on it. It looks real similar to the hamburger bean as well. But it's a little thinner line that goes around the seed. And then this one is called the sea heart. And you can find some of these where the shape of them looks exactly like a heart. I mean, really neat, really defined. Okay, y'all know what this is. Ping pong ball. We find those every once in a while, but then the majority of these are smaller. These are all from deodorant balls. And I know that because one of them I'd actually found in a deodorant, and they're all the same there. But, okay, finally, let me just tell you one last thing. Sometimes if you're looking at the high tide line, another itty bitty thing you'll find, look at that, it's a triangle, right? Like a diamond shape. It's a diamond shape. This is from a turtle bite, from a piece of yellow bottle plastic. And it's a vinegar bottle that we find the bottles from Haiti that say vinagre on them. And it's real common that we find those with bites in them. Now it's either a turtle bite or a triggerfish. You know, both of those kind of make that little diamond shape. The difference is the triggerfish will have a little tab here because of the two teeth in the front, and then turtle bite's usually pretty solid. But oh, and I thought this was cool. Maybe it'll bring me good luck. But I found this little dice, or die. Is that what you call it? But it feels wooden, super lightweight. How old is that? I have no idea. Cool. Okay, that's it for today's episode. Hopefully you got something out of these little teeny tiny things that we find. Now you can go looking in the high tide line and see what you come up with too. If you have any suggestions for future beachcombing, put it in the comments. I do listen to that, and I want to be able to bring y'all stuff that's showing up on the beach or up in the wetlands and the estuaries. So just let me know what y'all want to hear about. I am working on a couple of others, but any ideas y'all can give me or that y'all want to hear about, more than happy to do that. Okay, till next time, we'll see you later. Bye.